So we had a video where we talked about the franchise changes and improvements coming, and I wanted to have that be in its own video. Now we have March to October and the changes and improvements coming to MLB The Show 22 for this mode. So we now have multi-season March to October. I'm excited to hear how that works. So now we can go to the off season within March to October. This first one we're seeing right here is the free agency period, and as y'all can see, there's 12 weeks and you have an off season budget available. You can have targeted free agents. You can set your number 1, 2, 3 priorities. You can set your team's positional needs, your team needs, league signings up in the top, your depth chart if you want to see that. You can advance to the next week. So that's pretty cool. I feel like this is a really good addition to March to October, and for me personally adds a little bit more playability to it, because if I want to choose maybe a lower level team and I didn't win that World Series in the first year, maybe now I have a chance to win in the second year. And as we can see, here's an example of that positional needs screen right here. You can target starting pitchers, relief pitchers, closing pitchers, literally every position that your team might want. Behind me, I'm going to turn the cam off. We can see where your team ranks based on all 30 MLB teams. So you can see that, and you can see, okay, I want to select second base, third base, relief pitcher. That's something you're able to do for your positional needs for your team. And it's really nice that you can see what your team actually compares to the other MLB teams. And then we also have the team needs. You can select up to 2 positions to improve. You can focus on a left-handed bat, an on-base machine, a finesse pitcher. There's stuff behind me like a ground ball pitcher. I feel like the Cardinals seem to go after guys like that. So I feel like these are really cool changes to March to October. I'm liking this. This is a really cool screen as well. We can see recommended free agents. There's also things like free agent rumors. I'm hoping they show it again here in a second. There's also the top 100 free agents. So you can literally see the top free agents available. You can see what's recommended based on your team and your team's needs, everything like that. So I feel like these are really big changes, and I'm hoping that something like this is also in franchise. Like, I'm personally sitting here like, I don't want this to be a March to October only feature. This is something to me that seems like it's necessary. If this is in the game, this is necessary to get into franchise. This will be bad in my opinion if they only kept it in March to October. As we can see here as well, as the offseason goes on, maybe based on offers and things like that, you can see a player's interest level in signing with your team. So after this first week, we can see the Blue Jays here, that's the team they're doing, now have +8% increased player interest per week of this offseason. So that's pretty cool, and I'm really liking this feature. This is awesome to me. I'm wondering why this has not been in the game before. And so as we can see, this is the first week, and they just mentioned that you're reaching out to the player's agent. Okay, it says contacting agent to learn player's interest in signing. So in the second week, you can actually see the player's interest in signing with the team. So what we have now, their settings, Freddie Freeman's getting 8% increased interest per week in the team, but during that second week, after reaching out to the agent in the first week, we're going to be able to see his actual interest in the team, so we can kind of see where he stands and what our chances are of getting that free agent on our team. Now, one thing that's kind of cool is that percentage of interest can increase or decrease depending on what you've selected for your team's needs. If you selected a left-handed bat and a first baseman, that number is going to be higher than if you selected a right-handed bat and a starting pitcher, right? So based on what you're choosing, certain players will be gaining more or less interest per week in signing with your team. So that's a really cool feature. I love that. And one thing to keep in mind is the more priorities you have, the lower that interest is going to be. So if you add a third priority here, you're going to see that 7% and that 5% going down. So adding Taylor Rogers, we already saw Freddie's go from 8 to 7. So I would imagine it would go, if you added a third one, from 7 to 6, or maybe even down to 5 or 4. So you can go week by week and get back to that big board that we just saw, or you can go day by day and potentially get something like we're seeing right here. So let me turn the camera off and you can see a last chance opportunity. It says Taylor Rogers, our targeted free agent, is close to signing with another team, and this is our last chance. Last last chance opportunities appear when a targeted free agent is close to signing with another team, and you can send a last-minute contract offer for them to consider before they make their final decision. So that's really cool if you're going day by day, and I would kind of hope that even if you choose advance to the next week, so you're getting that big board popping up, I would hope that the last chance opportunities are going to be popping up anyways, so you don't miss out on a free agent just because you skipped ahead a week instead of going day by day. I'm hoping it's similar to like when there's the All-Star game and it's like, hey, this is kind of important. Would you like to stop simulating? Now, what they're showing here is how you can kind of see their interest a little bit. The more years you offer Taylor Rogers, his interest, as we can see, is going up. And I would assume the more money is going to increase his interest as well. So that's pretty cool that you can see in real time how these things are impacting and changing that player's interest rather than just blindly offering him a contract and being like, oh, I'm not really interested in that. Now you can actually see what their interest is. Now, this is pretty cool to me. This is the screen that you see after that last offer in March to October. So we just had that final last chance opportunity. Now we get to see the player walk out, and let's go. They signed with the Blue Jays. That's the team we have right here in their example. So you get to see what team that player signing with. Is kind of exciting, a little bit of suspense, and we in the end get to see if he does end up signing with your team and you're happy, or if he doesn't and you end up a little bit sad. Now, one thing to keep in mind though is that feature is only for the top 25 free agents. That's not going to be happening with every single free agent. It's only the top 25 and that top 100 that we saw earlier. And as you're going day by day, we can see advanced one day or sim this week. You can see breaking news. You can see other free agent signings and moves around the league. So that's a pretty cool little feature, and you're getting to see what other teams are doing and not just seeing what your own team is doing. One thing that's interesting to me is it says contract offer unlocks at 50% interest. So am I not allowed to offer Freddie Freeman a contract? You know, if I wanted to try to offer him that 4 years, $13.5 million, am I not able to do that until the week where he has enough interest? That's a little bit strange to me that I couldn't just offer any player that I wanted to a contract. That does seem a little bit weird to me. Let me know if it seems weird to y'all. And they're talking about the interest right now, and that kind of is calculated by a lot of different things. You know, it's based on that team's performance, the team's needs, positional needs, stuff like that. There's a lot of factors besides just what the team needs and how much money you're offering. You know, there's a lot more that goes into it than just, hey, that team needs a first baseman, or hey, this team's a contending team. As we can see here, we have the team needs, positional needs, stuff like that. And you can see there's little boxes, or I guess they're not boxes, they're circles, but you can see which of those needs a player's fitting, right? And if they have 3, they're going to have more interest accrued per week than somebody like Brandon Belt, where he only has 2. So those interest numbers that you're gaining per week, we see 10% right there. That's going to be higher if they're checking more of those circles, those boxes, and it's going to be lower if they're checking less. This is a really cool feature as well. I'm loving this stuff. So this is different from the last chance opportunity. This is a free agent opportunity, and as we can see, occasionally free agents that fit your positional and team needs will reach out to you via their agent. An agent representing Whit Merrifield has reached out to see if you're interested in signing him. This is the player's current interest in signing with your team. It represents their chance of accepting a contract offer from your team right now. So that's really, really cool to me that we have those last chance opportunities. You know, okay, hey, a team's about to offer this player something. Do you want to submit an offer to try to get them to sign with you? But we also have free agents and their agent reaching out to your team, seeing if you would be interested in them. That's such a cool feature. And I'm sitting here saying with the other stuff, please tell me this is not only March to October. Please tell me this is also in franchise. And if you'll notice, they also have on this opportunity a guaranteed accept, which you only get one of those per off season. It says another tool you can use to sign a free agent is the guaranteed accept offer. However, as we can see, it's limited to 1 per off season. To qualify for this, the free agent must be affordable and at least 55% or more interested in your team. And because the free agent's guaranteed to sign with your team, it's going to force you to pay above market value for that player, and it even gives you a little bit warning, hey, you're going to overpay, but they're guaranteed to accept if you do that. And just to make that clear, you don't have to do that. You can always select, no, I'm not interested in that player. You're not forced to make an offer. You're not forced to do the guaranteed thing. You can always decline and say you're not interested in that player if you want to. It's just an option to have. And you can also, if you want, instead of going week by week, day by day, you can also just advance to the next regular season. You can skip through the entire offseason if you've decided you've done enough or there's no free agents that you're really interested in anymore, as Freddie Freeman just signed with the Angels on here. Kind of crazy. And so they've decided to offer a contract to that #1 priority, and as we can see, that guaranteed accept is still here. It's not only on an agent reaching out to you, it appears to be on this screen as well. So that's pretty cool that if you do have a #1 priority and you get enough interest, you can use that guaranteed accept if there's one player you know you really want. So they just offered somebody a low interest offer. It was like 39%. They had the walkout, and unfortunately, he did not take the deal. He signed with somebody else. So they have walkouts even if the player's not signing with your team. And one thing that I want to say is the guaranteed contract offer. I don't think I want that in franchise. I want these screens, you know, the big board, the positional stuff. Like I want this easy, user-friendly screen that we're seeing here and everything like that. But I don't think I want that guaranteed accept. To me, that would take a little bit too much realism and a franchise. I feel like it's good for March to October, you know, a 1 or 2 season thing, but for franchise, I don't know if I would like that. Now, here is the off-season summary screen. You can see a star rating. I'm sure that's probably 5 out of 5 stars. You can see the key additions to your team, and you can see where your team, I believe, now ranks compared to all the other MLB teams. So those are all the March to October changes, improvements, additions for MLB The Show 22. As always, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe, social medias, all that good stuff. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace out.